Deirdre Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Teo Torres. So if you're up right now, you notice it's pretty bright. The sun's come up now. When I got up, it was very bright when I walked out to my car.
It really was. And there's a very specific reason for that. Let's go over to Tamara Berg now for more.
Yeah, you know, it is the full super blue moon. Yeah, that's a lot to follow, I know. And you'll notice that it's really bright. It's bold as it's getting ready to set right now. And the sun is starting to come up, especially if you look along the eastern horizon. You can see a little pop of color already from our downtown Sacramento sky cam here. This is actually from 555 Capitol Mall. That's a good indicator that there's still some haze and some particulate matter in our skies this morning. Temperatures are in the lower 60s, so we've got a pleasant start to the day. And as that sun is coming up, we'll start to see again more of that particulate matter around, at least for the next couple of hours. Good news about this morning, though, is that haze is not as thickly concentrated and leading to as much air quality concerns as it did yesterday at this time. I do anticipate that later in the afternoon, as we start to warm, hitting the lower 90s, the southwest wind is going to increase, and that's really going to help to remove a lot of this air quality concern and smoke out of the area. But for now, we're dealing with moderate air quality concerns from Yuba City to Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto. And you can see there's just a batch there of orange, which is the air quality that's unhealthy for sensitive groups on the eastern side there of Stanislaus County. Now the wind, again, it's going to ramp up as we head through the next 24 hours, and it's going to be a push of more of an onshore breeze. That's going to do two things for us: help to really alleviate some of those hazy skies. It's also going to bring down temperatures quite a bit. I'll warn your full forecast about that coming up in just a bit. It's 6:02 right now. Good morning, Brian. What are you watching on the roads?
Morning, Jam. We're taking a look at Highway 50 right now through the WX freeway there, and we're getting along all right. As you can see, the through lane, very light traffic there. We were seeing some backups on the local lane, as we'll call it, the right side there, as you try to get off at 16th, 10th, or I-5. But so far, everything moving along at the limit coming into that area, and then Interstate 80 out of Roseville into downtown, looking good all the way through the Cap City freeway, or 80 over the top onto the causeway. We do have an issue out in the Roseville area, Highway 65. This is the 65 on-ramp there. This is Interstate 80 passing underneath it at Galleria Boulevard, not affecting the freeway. There is a crash there. They're diverting traffic onto southbound 65 with Galleria blocked right at Highway 65. So something I'm keeping an eye on for you. But right now, the latest report was that they were forcing traffic onto 65 as you could not get over Galleria. I-5 and 99 looking good out of Elk Grove into downtown Sacramento. And then as we make our way into Stockton, incident free here on 599 and westbound Highway 4. No problems there. The 99 corridor, a 13-minute ride, 205, 27 minutes, and westbound 580 at 26 minutes. And here in Sacramento, we're at the limit. Tail?
All right. Thank you, Brian. New this morning, Sacramento County now, on part of a business, saw some damage after a car crashed right into it. Happened at the 1-800 Flower Shop off Bell Street and Arden Way around 2 a.m. Take a look at some of the damage in the scene here. It was a gray vehicle hit the corner of the building, but otherwise there was no broken glass or other noticeable damage. The car has since been towed away.
A developing story now. The Sacramento Police Department has just announced the arrest of a serial sexual predator.
Melanie Wingo joins us from the newsroom. And Melanie, we understand they were working with the New York Police Department on this.
They were, and Sacramento police just sent out this news release at 4 o'clock this morning. So this is new overnight. There are some pretty explicit charges here. In fact, we're not even going to mention the specifics because of just how graphic they are. But there was a joint effort on the part of the Sacramento Police Department, Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, along with the FBI and the New York City Police Department. On Tuesday, the NYPD and FBI arresting 35-year-old Kabe Cummings. He will be extradited soon to Sacramento and then booked on several charges of kidnapping and rape within the Sacramento area in cases that date back as far as 2010. They're also asking anyone who has any information about Cummings to call a tip line, and they've put up that tip line. This is it on your screen. It's 916-808-1773. Again, that's 916-808-1773. Now, Sacramento police say the arrest was made possible thanks to great cooperation between several law enforcement agencies in Sacramento and in New York, and they will hold a joint news conference with all the agencies involved Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. So we'll have to wait until then for further details on this. But Teo and Deirdre, there are 11 counts listed in this news release. many of them, again, very graphic. So this is clearly a very serious case.
Okay,
Back to
Melanie,
you.
thank you. We appreciate that update. It is 6:05 now. Today, students are going to be going back to a Carmichael school a day after a frightening discovery on their campus. A 5th grade student at Del Deo School found a swastika drawn on a student bathroom stall. The San Juan Unified District says that staff immediately was told to remove it. A note went out from the principal to the parents telling them what had happened. Some Del Deo parents say they're troubled by what's happened, and the principals encourage families to talk to their kids about the impact that act of vandalism can cause, writing in part, "Our school stands for respect and inclusion, and Del Deo is a place where all are welcomed and appreciated. Actions, symbols, or language that exclude or demean others are not in alignment with our school's community standards and will not be tolerated." Today, the students at the school will be putting a poster outside the bathroom encouraging kindness, and the principal says that there will be more things happening today to grow student understanding. Today, thousands of students are going to be starting their new school year. Sacramento City Unified has become the final district in the region to start classes a full month after we saw Lodi and Stockton school kids go back.
Hey, Sorry 3's Aaron Heft is live at John Sloat Elementary with a look ahead at the new year. Good morning.
Good morning. Over 38,000 students headed back to their classrooms today. This as the Sacramento City Unified School District does face some vacancies across their district. So let's take a look at those numbers right now. As of late last week, there's 57 full-time classroom vacancies across the district. 26 of those are for elementary grades, including 10 teacher positions, 9 special subject teachers like PE, and 7 special education teachers. 31 of the full-time classroom vacancies are for secondary level schools. 10 high school teachers, 8 middle school teachers, 4 K through 8th teachers, 1 PE teacher, and 8 special education teachers. This is the district enrollment has trended slightly downward since 2019. From over 40,000 students to their now just over 38,000 students. The most recent data showing overall they boast an 88% graduation rate, slightly lower in comparison to the county as a whole, but overall higher than the state of California. And back out here live, those kiddos, well, they go back to those classrooms at 8 a.m. this morning. They got out for the summer, June 15th. I checked it out, 75 days, 2.5 months exactly. Summer, it's officially over for these kiddos, but hey, it's the new school year. In Sacramento, Aaron Heft, KCRA 3 News.
Aaron, thank you so much. This morning, North Florida and several other states dealing with the impact of Idalia. Here's some video now from some of the damage in Taylor County, and this is where the storm made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane yesterday. The Big Bend region of Florida is sparsely populated, so while there was some damage, there has only been 1 death reported in the state. That whole area, it's a lot of like cattle ranches and stuff, so they don't have the very
Right.
populated
Yeah,
area
very
there,
rural.
which, you know, in the big picture here was a good thing. Idalia was a tropical storm when it got to the Atlantic coast of South Carolina, and this is what it looked like when damage started to be revealed. Some of the wind damage from Cherry Grove Beach. Now, the bigger impact that they've seen in that area has been flooding. Some of those areas got anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of rain, and in Charleston, the storm surge pushed the water over the seawall and into some of those beautiful Charleston historic neighborhoods.
So let's go right now to meteorologist Dirk Verdorn, busy tracking Idalia, joins us with an update. So where is it right now, Dirk?
Yeah, right now, the center of the storm is actually right off the coast of North Carolina. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current conditions with the Idalia as you have winds at 60 miles per hour, and it's moving to the east-northeast, so a little bit of a northeast component there, but it's moving along at a pretty good clip at 20 miles per hour. But you can see those bands of rain still very heavy in some spots, especially into Virginia. But let's take a look at North Carolina to start things off. You can see the scattered showers near Hatteras, some heavier rain there, and then along the coast and all the way up in towards Virginia, where we're seeing some of the heaviest precipitation, more widespread rain north of Norfolk there, and that extends all the way out towards Maryland as well. So the center of the storm is going to continue its trek off to the east, and Futurecast shows those heavier bands of rain are going to be moving out into the Atlantic as the center of the storm slowly starts to fill and starts to dissipate, You can see it kind of breaking up as we go from Friday into Saturday. That's when things really start to slow down and kind of just swing south and then push back out to the east. So it's not going to wrap around. We're looking at conditions that this is just going to steadily weaken and not gather any more strength as it gets over the warmer waters of the Atlantic. So that's the latest on the forecast there. Now back over to you.
All right, good to know. Thank you, Dirk. Well, federal first responders are traveling to the communities hit hardest by Idalia. A FEMA's administrator will tour damage there in Florida with the governor today and assess where the federal government can help most. Amy Lou is in Washington now with more.
Well, FEMA's administrator warns that the remnants of the storm still exist and could still pose a serious threat to anyone who doesn't take precaution. Idalia brought strong winds and rain to Florida and feet of water flooding parts of South Carolina and Georgia. More than 1,500 first responders are now moving into those areas as rescues and damage assessments continue. This morning, thousands of people have no power. Officials are asking people to check on each other, stay up to date on the latest evacuation orders and forecasts, and for people in the Carolinas and Georgia to prepare for hurricane-like conditions to last throughout the day.
My biggest concern is those people who chose not to evacuate, and I know that our local first responders, the heroes that are out there in those local communities, are doing an amazing job already of going into the areas where people did not evacuate and helping to get them to safety.
FEMA is running out of money from its disaster relief fund and is now prioritizing resources to handle not only this disaster, but also what's happening in Maui. It's warning Congress that any lack of additional funding could impact its future responses. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou, KCRA 3 News.